Hello everyone, welcome back to the next video. In this video I will show you how to save gameplay state using Google Play Game Services in React Native's new architecture for Android. So if you haven't watched my previous video of using Google Play Game Services with React Native, you should watch that. Like, I have covered all the topics like login, getting player stats, leaderboards, all that good stuff. This is about storing the gameplay state. So suppose if the user has reached till level 100, I need to store that inside Google Play. I need to store that with the help of Google Play Game Services. We can do that. Now do note that we require a paid Google Play developer account for this, so you will have to pay around 10 to $12. It is a one-time fee to Google. Then only you can make use of this particular tutorial. And the other thing is, you should don't get confused that given that we are using Google Play Game Services, the gameplay state will be stored on Google server. It will not. It will be stored on the user's Google Drive, which I will show you later about. So yeah, let's get started. So first, you can create a project using this command, but don't hard code this version number, because at the time of me recording this video, React Native 78 is already out. So we will be using React Native 78, whatever is the latest version. So I'll just paste this command inside my workspace directory, but I'll remove this version number, and I'll just name this my project as Travel Quest. You can name it whatever you feel like. I'm just giving some proper name because we need to deploy this to, like, we need to refer, not deploy, but we need to refer this name in Google Play Console as well. That's why I'm using this proper name. So let it do its thing. So I think this will take a bit of time to create the project. We only need the Android project. We don't require the iOS project, so you can ignore the iOS pod dependencies if you want to. So I'll just come over here, and here is my project. So I'll just open it inside VS Code. The next thing which we need to do is make sure you open this documentation as well, because we will be following this documentation a lot. Then we need to go to Google Play Console and create our app inside Google Play Console. Okay, so I'm on Google Play Console. So I'll just move this a little bit just so that you can see it clearly, because sometimes this gets cut off in my screen recording. So here you will just have to click on this create app button. So I'll just open the click on that. The next thing which we need to do is, before we enter all these details, what I'll do is I'll just open Android Studio, and this Android folder which we have. So I have opened the React Native project inside VS Code. So we need to open this Android folder inside Android Studio. I will let you know why, because we need to generate a SHA-1 as well. That's why just click on open, navigate to where your project is located. So here is Travel Quest, and you will have to select the Android folder and click on open. Now this Gradle syncing will take a little bit of time. That's why I opened it now only. Okay, now here we come back to Google Play Console, and here we can just enter our app details. So first is Travel Quest. Here you will have to select game. I'll keep it as free, and I'll check these two options, and I'll click on create app as well. So let's just wait for this to finish. Okay, then you will have to click on grow users, go to play game services, go to setup and management, and here you will have to click on configuration, and here you will have to click on create new play game services project. Then here you will have to click on create new cloud project. Click on go to Google Cloud Console. There as well you will have to give it the same name. So I will just give the name as Travel Quest. Okay, I'll click on create. Then yeah, once let's just wait for this project to finish. Okay, then I'll just click on select project. Then again come back to Google Play Console. I'll click on done over here. Then we have to click on this refresh cloud projects button. Now the project does take a bit of time to reflect on Google Play Console. Here you can see I'm not able to see my project. So again I'll just press refresh cloud projects, or you'll have to wait few minutes. So yeah, let's just wait for this to reflect. So here you can see finally my project is visible. So I'll just select my project and I'll click on use. Okay, then here we'll have to click on create OAuth consent screen. Click on Google Cloud Platform. Here you will have to go to clients, click on get started. Here you will have to enter your app name. So again I'll enter the same app name. Now here inside the drop down you will have to select the drop down and enter your email ID. I will do off the camera because that's my real email ID, and then once you select your email ID you just have to click on next. Okay, then here you will have to select external, then again click on next, and here you can either enter the same email address which you have entered at the top or any different email address. It's up to you. So I'll enter a different one. Okay, I'll click on next again, and I'll check this checkbox. I'll click on continue, and then I'll click on create. So let's just wait for this to finish. Then here you will have to click on create OAuth client. Then for application type select Android. First we have to enter package name. Now the problem with this is if you search for com dot whatever is your app name, travel quest, right? So this seems like a valid package name, but if you want you can change your package name as well, but then you will have to change a lot of files. That's why at the very start I said to use a proper app name. So I will just use this one. I'm not changing anything, com dot travel quest. Again I'll come back over here and I'll paste it over here. Then you will have to go to Android Studio to generate the SHA-1. Now there are different ways of generating a SHA-1, so here I have just showing it to you one of the ways. So a most popular one is this one, this key tool dash list v dash. Okay, and but here you will have to change the debug key store path or release key store path if you are generating it for release APK. Then the alias name, store password name, and key password name. But for now we are only doing it for debug APK. So according to me, for debug APK the easiest way to do is just use this first command /gradlew sign in report. So just open Android Studio, go to terminal. So here is our terminal. Okay, and then I can just paste this command over here, so it will automatically generate the SHA-1. For use this only for debug. For release use the second command which I have shown you, but like I said, you will have to change all the values over there. So let's just wait for this to finish. Okay, so it has generated. I'll just scroll up, and this is the first one, debug one, which you have to pick. So I'll just copy that SHA-1. Okay, I'll go back to Google Play Console, Google Cloud Platform, sorry. I'll paste the SHA-1 over here, and I think I have added an extra space. Okay, just make sure there are no spaces before and after the SHA-1, and then click on create. Okay, the request because Android. Okay, I think I might have to change the package name, that's why. So let's try changing the package name and hopefully it works. I knew something like this would happen. So what we'll do is we'll just search for com.travelquest, right? And here instead of com.travelquest I'll just enter com.coding with nobody. You enter your own company name, okay, and .travelquest. I think this should work. So we'll have to change it everywhere. So I'll just paste it over here as well. So I'm using the VS Code search functionality to easily search for this com.travelquest. So I'll paste it over here as well inside this main activity and for main application as well. Now there is important thing which you need to do is, if you come to VS Code, go to app src java com, and here after com you need to create this coding with nobody folder as well. Okay, so again I'll just go back to my project inside this, sorry, so this is my project, right? So I'll just go to Android app src main java com, and here I'll just create one folder called coding with nobody. So I'll just remove all this stuff. Okay, and I'll just drag and drop this travel quest inside coding with nobody. Okay, then again I'll go back to Android Studio. I'll just do a Gradle sync. So to do Gradle sync you can click on this elephant icon over here, just so that changes to get reflected, whatever changes we have made. And in case if there is any issue, Android Studio will automatically let us know. I don't think there is any issue. So okay, the Gradle sync was success. Then I can just go to our terminal again, and then again I'll just run this command. Okay, so it has again generated the SHA-1 for us. So this is the SHA-1. Hopefully this works now. So I'll copy the SHA-1. I go to Google Play Console and I'll paste it over here. Okay, and I'll just change the package name as well. So com dot coding with nobody dot travel quest. Okay, I think I might have added an extra space. Just remove that. I'll hopefully now this works. Yeah, finally it worked. Then just click on create client again, then select web application and just click on create again. Then go back to Google Play Console, click on confirm configuration, then click on create credentials, click on add credentials, then here select Android, scroll down. Here you will have to select the Android client which we have created, and then click on save changes. Then just click on this back icon, then again scroll down, click on add credentials, then select game server, scroll down, click on refresh OAuth clients, and here select this web client, click on save changes again. Okay, then again go back, then click on publish your project, then click on this description arrow, because we need to enter few details as well. So I'll just inside description I'll enter the same thing, travel quest, and for game category I'll just select action. Then we have to enter our like I have used ChatGPT to generate a game icon for me, so yeah, maybe you can do the same thing. So I'll just drag and drop this game icon, and there are multiple websites to generate feature graphic as well. You can just do a Google on you can just do a Google for feature graphic and you can just generate one feature graphic. So I've generated that as well. So this is the app icon, this is the feature graphic, and I can click on save changes. Okay, then again I'll just go back, then I will click on publish your project, and here you can just click on publish. So publish game project. Okay, so this is done. Now what I'll do is I'll write down all the code with the help of this particular documentation, then I'll come back and explain it to you, each and every step whatever I have done. Okay, so I have written down all the code which is required. So let's go through it one by one. So the first thing which we need to do is we need to create this specs folder, and inside that we need to create a TypeScript file. So I have done the same thing. Here you can see I have created this specs folder. Inside that I have named the TypeScript file as native playgame.ts. You can name it whatever you feel like. It's just that make sure the file name, the start of the file name is native, then it can be whatever you feel like. So that's what I have done over here. Then I have just copied all this code and just pasted it inside our TypeScript file, but make sure like I have written all this, like removed all these 4 methods because this does not make sense in our case. So instead of that I have created 2 methods of my own. One is login, which will be the Google Play Game Services login, and second one is save and get game. Now again you might be confused like why we are using one single method for saving and getting the game. I'll explain, like things will be more clearer once I show you guys the output. And it also take a game state, so whatever state of your game you want to save, you can enter that, and both of them returns a promise of string. Again once I show you guys the output, things will be more clearer for you. Then the other thing which I have done is that this should be your TypeScript file name, so make sure you don't write native local storage over here. If your TypeScript file name is native local storage, then it's fine, but my TypeScript file name is native play game, because native local storage does not make sense in my case. So that's what I have done. Then just scroll down and copy this bit of code. So I have done that. Go to package.json and paste it over here. So I have done that as well. Once you do that, again make sure you change the name to native play game, whatever is your TypeScript file name, followed by the word spec, and here package name also you need to change native play game. Okay, then once you do that, you have to run npm install, because we have changed the package.json. So I have already ran it, so I won't run it again. Once that is done, you will have to cd to the Android folder. So just do cd to the Android folder, and then you need to run this particular command. Again, I have already run this command, so I won't run it again, but I'll just show it to you. So just run this command. Again, this will take little bit of time because it needs to do code generation part, so just be patient. Once that is done, let's see how to use it in app.tsx. So go to app.tsx, and here you can see first I have imported native play game from our TypeScript file. Then I have created one state just to whatever values we get from native Android side, like the return type return value from our two methods which we have created, that I will store inside this particular state. And here I have created a login method, so I'm just doing native play game dot login. Whatever data we get, we just update the value inside our use state. And inside use effect also I call this login method. The reason is because we don't need to ask the user to click on the login button every single time. In my demo which I will show you, you will notice that even before I click on this login button, it will automatically login for me, because the same Google Play Game Services login I have used in other apps. So Google Play Game Services is smart enough to understand that okay, the user has used this particular account for some other app. Let's not ask the user to log in again. We can automatically sign in the user, as long as you will have to call this automatically this particular bit of code inside use effect. Okay, and also if you haven't used it previously, we have created one button, touchable opacity, and click of it we are doing the same thing. We are again calling the login method. Whatever value we get, we just set it inside our use state. Then there is another button for saving and getting game. So here you can pass whatever level your user is on. I have just hard coded this. Okay, and whatever data we get, we just again update it inside our state. And then I have taken one last text element, and we just display it inside our text element, the particular value of that particular button, or whatever, sorry, the return type whatever we get for both of these methods. Okay, then again if you scroll down, go to the documentation. Here you can see they tell us to create this particular folder. Now in our case it will be native play game, not native local storage, and we need to create this module file as well. Unfortunately we can't really copy code from this because this implementation is completely different from what we need to do. So first what you have to add is, you will need to add the dependencies for Google Play Game Services. So just go to app, build.gradle, scroll down at the bottom of the file. Firstly you will have to add this Google Play Game Services for login. Then you need to add this auth as well as this Google Drive dependency, because for saving and getting the game we require user to sign in with their actual Google account. Now Google Play Game Services login is a different thing and Google login is a completely different thing, so be careful with that, don't get confused. So make sure you add this bit of dependencies. Also you will have to scroll up and you need to add this packaging resource excludes add as well, because I think these two files are already present inside the Android OS. And this Google Drive dependency also add this particular bit of thing, so it causes confusion, so we need to exclude one of this, so that's why we need to add this bit of code as well. Then you will go to src main android manifest.xml, and here you need to add this metadata tag as well. Now this should be your own project number, don't copy mine, it will not work for you. So to get your project number, you just go to Google Play Console, and here you can see this is the project ID, which is the project number, so you can just copy it and paste it over here. Then once that is done, now we can go to Java com, and after this com folder you have to create a folder with your TypeScript file name. So I have created it as native play game. So first inside that you will have to create a Kotlin file, native play game module.kt. Here you will have to write your own package name, typically it is your TypeScript file name. These are all the imports which we are using, so you can just copy paste this imports. Then you will have to create this native play game module, which extends from native play game spec, and we also have to add this activity event listener, because we need that on start activity for result. We can't use a register for activity result, which is the new thing, which because I don't know how to use it inside turbo module, it always throws error, because typically register for activity result is used inside an activity or a fragment. Then I have taken these two variables, request code authorization as well as request code saved game, and one variable for save game data, which you will send it from React Native side. Then inside the init we just initialize our play games SDK as well as add activity event listener as well. And here we override this get name method, which is present by default, and for this particular name I have created this variable as well. If you scroll down, where is it? So here I have created it. I'll show you in a bit. Let's go step by step. So we were over here, right? Then here I have also created promise, which is used for sending data from native Android side to React Native side. So here we override the login method. So first we assign our global promise. Then here we get the game sign in client. Then here we check is authenticated, add a complete listener as well. If it is authenticated, then we just do play games dot get players client, pass the current activity, pass get our current player, add complete listener as well. Then once we get the task, if the task is successful, then whatever data we get for the sign in player, I'm sending it back to React Native side. I'm also logging it and displaying a toast message. If you want, you can remove this logs and toast message. I have using it all over the place. Now if here also in case of failure, I'm just displaying a toast message, but maybe you can use global promise dot reject and send that error back to React Native side. Similarly for the else clause over here, you can do the same thing. Now for save and get game, again we initialize our promise. Then we whatever game state we get from React Native side, we assign it to this variable. This is for getting access to the Google Drive. Then we create an authorization request. Then we just do identity dot get authorization client, get pass our current activity. Then we authorize, add a success listener as well. If the authorization result has a resolution, then we can get a pending intent, and with the help of the pending intent we start an intent sender for result. Then we just pass the intent sender, request code authorization, this is null and rest of all of them is 0. So this will basically call one method which I will show you shortly. Let's first complete this code. And in case of catch clause, again if you want to use global promise dot reject, you can use that. I'm just logging it to the console, and if the user is already signed in, we can directly save the data to snapshot dot save the snapshot to Google Drive. Okay, and in case of failure, maybe you can use reject global promise dot reject. I'll come back to this method later on, but first we have to check this particular request code authorization. So we are overriding. So here is our companion object, like the name which I was talking about. So here is the on activity result. So if it is request code authorization, then we get the authorization result. Okay, and then we check the granted scope, drive scopes dot drive app data. And once that is success, again we just call save snapshot to cloud. Again these are just failure clauses, else clause. Again if you want, you can use global promise dot reject. Now coming back to save snapshot to cloud, again we get hold of snapshot client. Maximum number of saved games to show is 5. Then we create an intent task, add a complete listener to it as well. If it is successful, then we just do start activity for result. Again it calls the same on activity result code. And in case of failure, I'm displaying a toast message, but again if you want, you can use global promise dot reject. Now again this will call this particular bit of code, this else clause. Okay, then here we just check the snapshot client. Now if you have again once I show you guys the demo, things will be more clearer. But if you are selecting an existing saved game, then this particular if clause will get called. So here you can see first we get snapshot metadata, then we get the current save game, then we get a conflict resolution, then we just do snapshot client dot open, pass the current save game. And if it is failure, again I'm displaying toast message, but you can use global promise dot reject. And if it is success, then we just continue with it. We get the data in form of byte array, we convert it to string, and then we send the string data with the help of global promise. Okay, and this is for add complete listener. If you want to do something else, you can do it. Now this particular else if clause will get called once you try to save some particular game state. So here I'm just creating a unique name over here. Then we just do snapshot client dot open, pass the current saved game, add a complete listener as well, and then we get snapshot result out of it. If snapshot is not equal to null, then we just do snapshot dot snapshot content dot write bytes. So we just convert the string to bytes and write it, and then we just get this metadata change. Then we just do snapshot client dot commit and close, pass the snapshot as well as metadata change, add a complete listener as well. And if the result is successful, then we just do global promise dot resolve, else we just display one toast message as well. And again here also I'm displaying toast message, but like I said, you can use global promise dot reject. And we also need to override this, unfortunately, one more method, because it is part of the interface which we are extending at the top. So yeah, that's it. Again I'll scroll up, I'll simply scroll through this file one more time. Feel free to pause the video wherever you feel like and just copy the code. Okay, so yeah, that's it. Next, you have to go to create one more file called native play game package.kt. Now this I have copied it from the documentation, so you can just go to the documentation over here, and they have just named the file differently, and this particular name also they have used name differently. Okay, so mostly copy this file, just change the package name. This should be your TypeScript file name followed by the word package, and everywhere you have to use this native play game module, like whatever is your TypeScript name, TypeScript file name followed by the word module over here, over here, over here, as well as over here. Rest everything remains the same. Then you need to go to this particular main package. Go to main application.kt. Firstly you will have to import your native play game package. Okay, and then you can just copy paste this particular line of code as well. Add whatever is your TypeScript file name, package followed by the word package. Also, one more thing which I want to tell you is, okay, I think they have updated the documentation. Previously they had this underscores which were causing a problem, but I think they have updated it. So yeah, I think there should not be any error as such now. Okay, I think that should be it. Let me quickly check. Yeah, that should be it. So yeah, now let's see the demo or the output. Okay guys, so here is the output. I'm mirroring my device from Android Studio, so make sure you run your output on a real Android device. Here you can see even before I click on login, it automatically signed in and it has given me all the response. Now this login is completely different as compared to the login which we will use when we click on save get game. The login which you are seeing right now, the response which you are seeing is from the Google Play Game Services login. Okay, so that's what the response is. I'm displaying it inside our text element like I shown you in the code. Now I will click on the save get game. Now as soon as I click on this save get game, for the very first time it will show all the Google accounts which I'm using on this Android device. So I'll just blur the output for a bit. Okay, so now I will click on the save get game option button, sorry, and it has presented with me with the all the sign in email IDs which I have. I'll select one of them. So as soon as I select one of them, so once you have successfully signed in with your Google account, you will see this particular screen. So like I mentioned, we are using only one button for saving and getting the game. So if you want to save a game, you can click on this plus button over here, and it has automatically saved the game for me. And here you can see I'm sending the message save game success. Now again, if I click on save get game, now I don't need to log in again. It has automatically detected I was logged in previously. Now I can either select this game which I have already saved or click on this plus button. So if I select the existing game, uh, here you can see it has already like given the response that this particular level was selected, and accordingly you can take the appropriate action. So hopefully you got the point. Yeah, that's it. Thank you for watching. Bye.